Life can be downright challenging at times. When we're in these seasons, it's important to know that we're not alone. So I went into the field and asked people to give their advice. Their insights were beautiful, profound, and I think you'll enjoy. A lot of people right now are going through challenging times in life. If you had one piece of advice to give to someone who's going through a difficult time, what advice would you give them?
I think the first thing is you always have people that love you and they're always willing to help you, and there's always so much more in life. Everything's gonna get better and there's always happiness out there and people that love you.
We have this perception that our reality today is our reality forever. But in fact, when we surrender to life more, oftentimes things open up for us. Another thing you mentioned is that there's so many people that love you. Why do you think people maybe struggle to understand that?
I think it's the fear of maybe they won't understand where they're coming from, or even they never really talked about it, they don't know how to open up to it. But I think once you start to talk to people, you realize there's other people going through this. They want the same outcome for me, which is I just want to get better, and there is happiness out there and I'm willing to help you for it.
I'm here with Will. You know, if you were to give somebody a piece of advice who's going through a challenging time right now, what piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think I would say life's short. You know, you'll have many traumas and many crappy experiences in your life, but all things pass, good things come. There's no point in sitting on the crappy things. You know, one day you'll be old, on your deathbed, looking back on your life, appreciative that you went through those experiences and they made you who you are. Life's short. You know, I've been through really crappy experiences in my life. I've been in psychiatric hospital, you know, like my brother died, and all those experiences made me who I am today. Grateful for life, grateful for love, grateful for people around me. Life's way too short to be sad about things.
I'm here with Kristen. If someone's going through a difficult time or a difficult season right now, what's maybe a piece of advice that you might give to them?
I would say don't give up, that there's always somebody out there who's either gone through what you're going through or has gone through something worse. You know, just don't feel alone. There's always somebody out there who's got pieces of your story, and you've always got something to share with other people to help.
Kind of what you're saying is like a perspective shift. When we change a perspective from the victim to being the victor, that's not to discredit the emotion of the situation that you're going through, but to fill into maybe it could be worse.
It can be very empowering to switch the tables and to become somebody who has had an experience that can help other people instead of just somebody who had something done to them.
Beautiful.
So again, same shift in perspective. Perspective is everything. Finding that shift can be very difficult when you're in that dark place, you know? And so, I don't know, for everybody it's different, but surrounding yourself with good people and, you know, really people who are good, who have good energy, who have something to offer, and then somehow it shifts and you're the one offering, you know? It's a cool little deal. You just can't quit.
Yes, you heard it right there. She's been on her own journey, I can tell, and it's beautiful to see. So I'm out here with Donna. If you were going to give a piece of advice to somebody who's going through a difficult time, what piece of advice might you give them?
Just keep going one step at a time, put one step forward till you walk out of it.
And do you think maybe for some people, when they're in those states, it feels hard to put one foot in front of the other?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. What do you think that resistance might be?
Fear, maybe, of not making it to where they want to be.
Huge point right there. So she mentioned fear, right? And one of the things that's helped me is to change my relationship with fear. So often I always felt like fear was the thing that wasn't to be entered. But what I learned is oftentimes that fear is actually my resistance point of growth. And so if I step into that fear, like Donna's saying, I actually get something out of that. I find my edge point and I actually grow, and I start to naturally feel better. So we heard it right here, one foot in front of the other. I'm here with Brittany and Bella. If somebody's going through a difficult season in life, piece of advice that you might share with them to help them get through this season?
My piece of advice would always be just not keeping it all to yourself, you know, and sharing what you're feeling with other people, like your loved ones, and just not being by yourself, you know. It's always important to get it out there, not just keep it all in, because then you're gonna explode, and you know. So yeah, that's my advice, is just to always have that someone that you could, you know, lean on. And
well, that's powerful, right? Because I think a lot of people struggle to, when we're in those situations, they feel like no one wants to hear. But in fact, that's the most important time to share and to open up. And in fact, people do care. What do you think?
That it rains, but the rain does go away. So, yeah.
Well, in fact, it makes me think of our season right now. Massive winter here in Reno, right? One is we're going to be grateful for the springtime. Been a long-ass winter, right? And it's going to be a fruitful springtime, too. All right, I'm here with Zach. Would you mind sharing a piece of advice you might have for somebody?
Yeah, of course. I'd just say if you're going through a difficult time, just persevere. Always gets better. Anytime you can focus on yourself, just focus on improvement, the little things. Anything like that just helps you out. Day by day, it gets better.
Beautiful advice. I always frame it like control the controllables, let go of the rest. And if we control the controllables, keep moving forward, eventually, to your point, things get better. Here with Bisha, hey, if you were to give one piece of advice for somebody that's going through a challenging season, what might that piece of advice be?
Well, I'd say things get hard, and there's always going to be hard times expected in life, but no matter what happens, you always got to push through and see things as, think of it when you're driving a car. Why is the rear view mirror smaller than the windshield, There's always going to be be dark days and there's always going to be hard times in life, but you have to remember that there's always going to come good times with those too, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
I love that perspective, right? And it just speaks to the power of perspective. One thing that I kind of tell myself is we can't touch our past, so don't let our past touch our future. So I'm here with Joan, and Joan, if you were to give a piece of advice to somebody in life to live a healthy, wealthy, prosperous life.
Marry the right person.
Wow.
And stay that way. We've been married 65 years.
65 years. What do you think the secret is to having a marriage that lasts 65 years?
We don't fight. We don't yell at each other. Make sure when you find someone you absolutely fall in love with that it's the right thing. How's that?
That's a reminder to us all that we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to have life all figured out, and that we're all human, and we're just going through this human experience trying to do the best we can. Check out this video if you haven't already, because I believe it'll bring more love and light into your journey.